Officer Rachel Torres stood by the security checkpoint at the bustling Miami International Airport. To travelers, she was just another figure of authority. But behind her professional demeanor, Rachel harbored a life steeped in secrecy and shadows. For years, Rachel had been part of a covert operation, thriving on corruption within the airport. She wasn't alone. Baggage handlers, customs officials, and even a few supervisors were deeply entrenched in the network. From smuggling luxury goods to expediting security clearance for cash-filled envelopes, the system was smooth, almost foolproof. To Rachel, it was merely a way to climb the ladder faster. But she knew deep down that every game had an end. That day, the atmosphere felt different, heavy with an unspoken tension. Rachel exchanged a fleeting glance with David Carter, a baggage supervisor, as she directed a passenger toward the metal detector. David gave her a slight nod, their prearranged signal. Today's operation was larger than usual. A suitcase stuffed with unmarked bills was to glide through her station without suspicion, routine by now. Keeping her composure, Rachel tightened her grip on the radio clipped to her vest as the suitcase approached. Across the terminal, Detective Lucas Bennett observed discreetly. Newly assigned to investigate corruption allegations at the airport, Lucas had spent months unraveling a web of deceit, collecting evidence one piece at a time. This was the day he planned to bring it all crashing down. When the suitcase arrived at the scanner, Rachel waved it through without hesitation. David, feigning assistance to a passenger, retrieved the bag on the other side and melted into the crowd. Everything appeared seamless, but something felt off, too perfect. Rachel's heart skipped a beat when a voice crackled through her earpiece. "Officer Torres, step aside." She froze, her mind scrambling for a plausible excuse. Looking up, she saw Lucas approaching, his sharp eyes locked on hers. "What's going on?" she asked, feigning innocence. "We have a situation," Lucas replied, his voice loud enough to attract the attention of nearby passengers. "Follow me." Whispers rippled through the crowd as Rachel trailed Lucas into a restricted area. Her stomach churned as he led her into a small office. Inside, two other officers stood near a table piled with evidence. Photographs, documents, and the suitcase now open, revealing stacks of cash. Lucas gestured toward the suitcase. "Do you recognize this?" Rachel's expression remained stony. "No," she replied curtly. "Interesting," Lucas said, his tone calm but firm. "Because we've got footage of you waving it through security. Care to explain?" Rachel's mind raced for an excuse, but Lucas motioned to his team before she could respond. "Take her into custody." The clinking of handcuffs felt like the sound of her life shattering. Rachel had built her world carefully, but it was now unraveling. Hours later, she sat in a cold interrogation room, the steel of the handcuffs biting into her wrists. Across the table, Lucas opened a thick file, slowly pulling out evidence. Incriminating photos, transaction records, and security footage. "You've been busy, Officer Torres," Lucas said, his tone edged with disappointment. Rachel stayed silent, her gaze fixed on the table. "Smuggling, bribery, obstruction of justice. It's all here," he continued. "And it's not just you. We've mapped out the entire network. Names, dates, deals. You can help us break it apart, or you can go down with the rest of them." Rachel clenched her jaw, her mind racing. She thought of David, the whispered deals in hallways, and the extra money that had made life so much easier. It had seemed worth it, until now. Lucas leaned forward. "This is your one chance to do the right thing." After a long silence, Rachel met his gaze. "What do you want to know?" Lucas's expression softened slightly. "Everything?" The following day, news of Rachel Torres' arrest sent shockwaves through the airport. Her confession triggered a cascade of arrests, including David and several other key players in the corruption ring. The media descended, eager to expose the scandal that had tainted one of the nation's busiest airports. As Rachel sat in a holding cell awaiting her arraignment, she reflected on the choices that had brought her there. Her detailed confession had earned her a chance at a reduced sentence, but she knew her life would never be the same. In court, the judge's words cut through her. You betrayed the public trust and dishonored your badge. This court sentences you to 5 years in federal prison. As Rachel was escorted away, Lucas stood in the back of the courtroom. His face showed no triumph, only quiet determination. Justice had been served, but the scars of corruption would remain. For Rachel, David, and the others, the price of their choices had come due. The airport returned to its bustling routine, but the shadows that had hidden corruption were gone, replaced by the glaring light of accountability. And so ends this tale of betrayal and justice. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more gripping narratives. See you in the next one.